Skin the Hardaway Southern T, back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy when you're rolling on in. We here for a good time, not a long time. I ain't go waste too much of y'all time here today. Just want to hit y'all with something that was interesting to me. Now we know Anthony Joshua is coming off a fight versus Alexander Usyk. We know Anthony Joshua switched trainers in his last fight. He switched to Robert Garcia in his last fight with Alexander Usyk, right? Uh, Anthony Joshua ended up losing a decision to Alexander Usyk. Him and Robert Garcia, for lack of a better term, they were at odds after the fight. There was a time, like immediately after the fight, they were talking to the boxers, and Anthony Joshua had that meltdown, that classic meltdown that Anthony Joshua had. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? I ain't finna be in this thing too long, y'all. That classic meltdown that Anthony Joshua had, he had stated within the outlet, right? He stated that he felt like he left it all at the gym. He didn't feel like he left it out in the ring. He said he felt like he left it all in the gym. But Robert Garcia and Anthony Joshua ended up, staying together for at least we thought. And after the very first fight, there was a thing Anthony Joshua said he felt like, he blamed his corner for not telling him, to be more urgent in the fight. So he felt like he said he let the first one slip from him because he wasn't urgent. And the second time he said he felt like he left it all in the gym, which ultimately led to the splitting of him and Robert Garcia. So Anthony Joshua and Robert Garcia, are no longer working together. So they were speaking with Robert Garcia, and they asked Robert Garcia how he felt about Anthony Joshua in his next fight and who he'd be working with. Now, Robert Garcia said that he wasn't really sure who Anthony Joshua will be working with next, but he said that whoever Anthony Joshua will be working with next is going to, it's going to look good because Anthony Joshua is going to fight an easy fight. Now, I'm not sure if Robert Garcia know, but I'm almost, I'm willing to bet that he knew, right? That Anthony Joshua is working with Derrick James because this news had gone public about a week or so ago at this point, right? So he says that he didn't know. He said whoever is coaching him is going to look good because Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting somebody easy. Now, you could look at that, one or two ways. One, you could look at it as, he felt like he fought Alexander Usyk, so, there was an uphill battle. Or you could look at it as, he's kind of, throwing shade at Derrick James. What's good, A1? Or you could look at it as, he's kind of throwing shade at Derrick James a little bit, saying, well, I expect him to look good because he's going to fight an easy fight. You know what I mean? His next fight. And if you've been keeping up with it, what's good, everyone? And if you've been keeping up with it, the last two, trainer of the years have been, Robert Garcia, Eddie Renaso, and this current year is Derrick James. You know what I mean? What's good, Jason? Appreciate you sliding through. Oh my God, Jason. He said Garcia always been a hater, low key. We about to, I'm finna go and read this article off to y'all because I ain't gonna have y'all up in this thing too long. I'm finna read this article off to y'all so y'all can know I ain't just pulling this junk out my tail. What's good, Shaw? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Shaw. Y'all could smash that like button for your boy. Robert Garcia is aware that the people will inevitably compare whoever becomes Joshua's next trainer to Robert Garcia. So even in the article, they're acting like they don't know who the trainer is, right? He said the veteran trainer from Southern California joined Anthony Joshua's teams earlier this year ahead of his rematch with Alexander Usyk in August. Garcia worked in tandem with Joshua's longtime trainer, Angel Fernandez, to help Anthony Joshua get back on his feet. In the end, Usyk wound up winning again on points to retain the undisputed titles. Now Joshua is back exploring the possibility of bringing in the new trainer to his camp. The Londoner was recently spotted in the United States working with Virgil Hunter in San Francisco and Derrick James in Dallas. Garcia could still get the nod to return to Joshua's camp, but the trainer noted that he has considerable commitments to other fighters, which means that he's probably not going to be back in the camp as we know now because Derrick James is Anthony Joshua's trainer at this point. This is I almost call him Anthony Garcia. This is Robert Garcia's quote, it doesn't matter who it is when he comes back. I know they're going to pick him 2 or 3 easy fights. So he's already saying, 2 or 3 fights from now, it don't matter how they look because the fights are going to be easy. But I digress, right? They're going to pick him 2 or 3 easy fights just so he can look good. That's what he told ESPN. He said that's going to make any trainer look good, whether it's Virgil or if it's Fernandez. Now, he never said Derrick James. He said he could just stay with Angel. And then he said, oh, well, he could pick Derrick James. The opponent he's going to fight, he's going to knock out, and that's going to make the trainer look good. It's going to make him look good. It's going to make who's ever training him look good. He said, but it's a big difference. I went in there against Usyk, and we still did better than anybody expected. No, you didn't. You went in there with Usyk, and y'all did worse than we expected, right? Because a lot of people expected Alexander Usyk to beat AJ. They expected him to be able to stop him. And he almost did stop him the second time, but Anthony Joshua gassed out at the end of the fight, which is also a training error, but I digress. So that's the big difference. They're not going in there against Usyk. They're going in there against an easier opponent that he's going to go out and destroy. Like, oh shit, what a difference. He looks so much better. But yeah, look at the quality of opponent too. That's the big difference. So that's what Robert Garcia, had to say. Anthony Joshua and Robert Garcia, in my, to me, paying attention, looking at it, they never really clicked. It was always like a rift there. Again, like I said, at first, after the first fight, he said he felt like Anthony Joshua said he felt like his corner didn't tell him that he was in the fight. Right, he felt like that he was winning, and his corner didn't tell him to be more urgent. So he felt like he let the first fight slip away from him. In the second fight, right, he had Garcia as the trainer, and after that fight, he said he felt like he left everything in the gym necessarily, not necessarily leaving everything in the ring as if maybe he had overtrained. You know what I mean? So now you got Robert Garcia. Now you got Robert Garcia saying that we went in there with Usyk and we did better than anybody expected. A lot of people expected him to beat Alexander Usyk. You know what I mean? And a lot of people feel like he gassed out in this second fight. So there will most definitely be a training problem. What's good, stay dangerous. They gassing out part. But I just want to bring attention to this, right? Robert Garcia, has some choice words. He said, whoever he get is gonna look good because they're not going to fight Alexander Usyk. And I think maybe it is some truth to it, right? But I think with how the situation ended up, with him and Anthony, and him, not winning trainer of the year, him receiving a lot of criticism from those Anthony Joshua fights, right? I believe it was a little shade thrown towards Derrick James because it's one thing to say, oh well, his next fight, right? You said for about 2 or 3 fights, right? So you basically saying even if they win the next fight, the fight after that and the fight after that one, don't really give them no credit for it, right? Because they're going to be fighting, easy fights. You most definitely can go out there and you could get upset, just like Anthony Joshua did the first time, right? He got upset, so upsets do happen. And Anthony Joshua wasn't the underdog against Alexander Usyk neither time. He was the favorite to beat him, which means that Anthony Joshua is actually the one who got upset. Shaw said after Garcia said Mexican fighters are better than us. I was surprised he worked with AJ. Yeah, Garcia also said that the hardest fighters to beat are black fighters as well. You know what I mean? But Robert Garcia always got a lot to say, right? This is just the latest in the Robert Garcia tree. I thought it was interesting. I do kind of feel like he was shading him a little bit. It's just a little truth to what he said, and I also kind of feel like he was shading him a little bit. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. How about this, right? Derrick James used to be a boxer. Robert Garcia used to be a boxer. They both boxing trainers. How about y'all get in the ring? Y'all have a battle of other trainers, right? Since Robert Garcia want to throw slick shade at him about the AJ thing, how about y'all just get in the ring and y'all have it out one time? Do a former boxer versus trainer showdown, and then y'all see who the better trainer is. What's good, PGH? But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. I'm watching Eddie. You know what I mean? The old Whoopi Goldberg movie. That just came out in 1996. I was born in 91. I ain't seen that movie in so long. I got 40 minutes left. But I just want to come in here and drop that little tad bit on y'all. What's good, G5? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it. What's good, DOG? Glad you can make it, pimp. Appreciate you sliding through. I ain't gonna be on this thing. I ain't finna keep y'all in here too long. Just want to, hit y'all with that little tad bit what Robert Garcia had to say, about Derrick James. But I appreciate everybody sliding through this thing. It's getting harder away, Southern T. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.